guys, welcome back to the Vitality Show Special Edition, the panel. I'm Nikki Fogden-Moore, your host, with Stephen Johnson and with Mark Truelson. The three of us are bringing you the topics that you know about but nobody really talks about. Today's episode is entitled Paddling with Knives. So what to do when you feel like people around you or yourself are really, really busy but nothing's happening. I think it's a great analogy. I'm going to set the scene a little bit and tell you about how that came a topic. It was actually a surf analogy when you're going into a massive big wave, and instead of doing big strokes with nice, conscious effort, you're paddling with your hands like this. So you're paddling with knives, which means creating a lot of fuss and a lot of movement, but you're really not going anywhere. And usually this is caused by a sense of fear or a sense of needing to hold back. So are we standing in our own way? And do you know people in your work environment and in your life that are paddling with knives at the moment? So Stephen, I'm going to pass this over to you for the kick-off of the discussion.
Sure. I think it's a brilliant analogy. More organisations than we realise are actually experiencing this inertia, and part of the deeper problem, it's like the iceberg, right? It's just the surface. That whole lack of momentum and lack of stickability is just because there's a deeper incongruence of purpose between what lights up individuals and, say, the strategic vision or direction of the organisation that they work in. And in my experience, the only way to help drive or help to get some kind of momentum, cohesion around a purpose, is to actually create an environment where people can contribute together to actually design what that purpose looks like.
Yeah, and how do you identify? I think it's all very well when we identify that purpose and we have goals in an organisation and we all go off and you've got that yes person in the team, like, yep, totally over that, yes, I'm totally doing that, or even could be your family or your startup organisation, but they're actually not doing anything, they're not getting traction because they're too afraid to say, actually, I don't really know what the brief was. So I'm always checking with my team, like if you're not sure, just ask.
Yeah.
So do you feel in a company, even though you've got purpose, you still have to have a way of checking that people aren't pretending they're all over it?
Yeah, you need to ask that really tough question, what business are we really in? And how do our various skills contribute to bringing that to life? Is there a complex problem that intersects with our business in society? Are we suffering from legacy systems and processes that are, as Simon Sinek would say, bad for business and bad for people? Is that going on?
Yeah, and that means people can hide in between the gaps then, right? And I think this is this disruptive leadership thing as well, is that you've got to call people out when they're making a fuss but no traction.
Totally, and having worked in corporates nearly all my life, I'm always fascinated that a lot of this comes to the environment that we sort of provide for our employees, that it seems that we're sort of playing not to lose rather than playing to win. And I think there's a real fear that comes with this, that anything that comes with disruption, that we'd rather not go about it because we don't want that pain associated with not being successful. And I think that those that do it really well provide that environment where we're playing to win, and if we lose along the way, that's okay.
And I think that's what we want you to take away from this discussion actually, is you've got to be able to recognise in yourself, are you turning up or are you contributing? Are you showing up or you're adding value? So in the triangle that I have with the C-suite stuff, we have to make sure that you take individual accountability first. So if you're a leader and you're identifying someone in your family or your business that you think is just showing up, then make sure that you demonstrate what contribution looks like, and make sure you're clear with people what commitment looks like. So back to that cloud break analogy, it's up to the guy next to him saying, dude, all you need to do is just commit. So dig deep, dig paddle. What's the worst thing that can happen? So this fear of failure that we have, this fear of failing in business. And in America, people go through startups much more at a higher rate than we do. But in Australia, it's like, I don't want to show, if I'm in a senior position, that I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
That is the worst way to think.
Yeah. One of the challenges with that is that business operations are typically quite hierarchical, and we're seeing a very dynamic or paradigm shift in the world towards cultures that are leaner, more connected, more agile in the way that they generate ideas and value. And so we're seeing less of the big design strategies and more of the little sparks and ripples that actually, it's like that test, fail, learn and adapt kind of approach to getting stuff done. And when you approach change or innovation or growth in that way, what happens is you end up with greater flexibility around, like you don't spend 6 months working towards something for it to then bomb at the end, because you're continuously testing and failing fast.
And I love that. David Kelly from IDEO talks about that, that whole culture of failing faster.
Yeah.
And then learning from that. And even Gary Hamel talks about learning faster than what the world's bringing out new technologies. So.
I think people are nodding as you're saying this, but there's a discord in the workforce. There's a younger, agile group that are coming through, but we've got more established leaders that just don't have the tools because they've been trained in a different landscape. So I think let's give everyone listening maybe a couple of really key tools to take away from this, to say if you find yourself in a vulnerable position at work or in a leadership position and perhaps you're not committing, here's a couple of things you can do to step through that and to just go for that wave. So Mark, what would you say to someone that knows that they don't want to show a level of board of directors, or they're in an entrepreneurial spirit and they're like, you know what, I don't think I've really got this. So what would be your 2 pieces of advice to stop paddling with knives?
I love the whole concept of reverse mentoring. So a leader of a business having the courage to sort of seek out information from some of the young up-and-comers, just to keep themselves sharp and have that bravery. And I also think, to encourage the element of failure.
Yeah.
And that failure can work, and as long as you're putting yourself up to bat, like they say with Babe Ruth, that you've got the most home runs but the most strikeouts, then that's something that should be rewarded as well.
That's fantastic. So reverse mentoring, I love that as well. Like ask down and lead up as well, and put yourself, go into bat, just go for it. Stand on that plate, get ready, swing that bat, and just you never know what's going to happen.
Fantastic.
I think that curiosity is great. Stephen, what would be your 2 tips to stop paddling with knives?
I think first of all, to be able to contribute effectively and in a sustainable way, you need to know what lights you up. So you need to know what you bring and what you have to offer your business is actually worthwhile. And I think getting over the fear of rejection is a big part of that.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to actually bring who you are to your workplace. So no more being invisible.
Love that.
Contribute with passion and vitality. And the other thing would be to seek out like-minded individuals. So find other people. Leaders can come from anywhere in an organisation. The new leadership is about contribution and service that is aligned with a higher purpose. So find other people that actually give a shit and want to actually contribute to something bigger than the individual.
And I love those. So, show up and bring your A game.
Yeah.
So bring your personality into the office and figure out what that is. And the second thing is find leadership at all levels.
That's it.
So like-minded people that are willing to think differently and take risks and go, that's a great idea. And so bridging the gap between those 2 things, I think if I'm putting myself in your shoes while you're watching this or listening to this, I would say that number 1 is it is lonely in leadership. And I think it's the biggest challenge. If you're a founder or an entrepreneur and you're constantly having to create the vision, sometimes it's a lonely road. So don't be afraid to look outside the box or around the corners. And we must be our personal brand. So you must be able to give it a go. Like I'm learning to surf. I definitely don't surf cloud break, and I wish I'd learned when I was 5. I've also trying to learn to skateboard, hence the things. But it's about the thrill. Yeah, it's the thrill of. I think we've lost our ability to have a go, and with a sense of drive and passion and conviction comes results, fun, vitality, and a youth in your thinking and delivery. So no matter what age you are, go for it. And encourage your team to create a safe environment for people that you want to lead well in your organisation to ask questions. If you don't congruently make it safe for people to put their hand up in a meeting or to come to your office, and you're constantly shutting people down, then the onus is on you that you're squashing your culture of involvement.
That's it.
And so I would like to say that we all collectively encourage you to create a safe environment, whether it's your kids or your friends, to not challenge people when they come and say, this is really difficult, but to say, tell me more about it. And then we create an environment where people are going to disrupt, they're going to step up, they're going to bring their personality, and they're going to contribute.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be fantastic. We're going to start right here.
Yeah.
So that's the panel, guys, and we've been talking about how you can stop paddling with knives and identify people inside your tribe that are doing the same thing, and maybe just let them know that it's okay to commit and create a safe environment for people to have a go.
That's
Fantastic.
More on the show is on the vitalitycoach.com.au or nikkifogden-moore.com. You can hop onto YouTube. Mark and Stephen and I will all be sharing our show episodes across LinkedIn and our websites. Everything will run along the bottom of this video as well, and links on, what's your video, Stephen? Your website?
StephenScottJohnson.com.
MarkTruelson.com.
So too easy, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed episode 1 of the panel on the Vitality Show, how to stop paddling with knives, and we'll see you next time. We'd love your comments, and don't forget, we are here to ask questions and get answers for you on those known and unspoken topics that are always a bit difficult to discuss. I think this is going to be the best show ever.
Yeah.
Good disruption.
Yeah. Just a bit.
Vitality.